Alright, welcome back everybody. Another episode of WCW 2001 Nitro is here. We're back on the channel, BShooter94. We're at the second episode of Nitro. Just like I said, we're continuing the tournaments for the Cruiserweight US Championship. Building momentum towards the Great American Bash. You've heard me talk enough now. Let's get right into it. Opening the show, we don't do those long segments of talking. We get right into the action. And in about that decent wrestling, but didn't have much heat, Little Guido advances in the Cruiserweight Championship tournament by defeating Billy Kidman at 8:03 by pinfall with a quick cradle. Kidman got us a 54, Guido a 56. It does have a note in here that Chavo distracts Kidman, which causes Kidman to lose. But we don't see that here. Got the show to a strong start. I'm really happy with this. Guido and Kidman doing some great work here. Guido is going to be a very intricate part of the Cruiserweight division, same with Kidman. So, beautiful stuff to start this off. I'm very, very happy with this. Little Guido is more or less playing that FBI-type character from the ECW, and he is fitting that role to a T right now. But he's solo. He doesn't have any backup. Post-match, like I said, Chavo's on the stage. Guido's got the victory, and Kidman's realizing that Chavo cost him the match, and Kidman's obviously upset with himself to allow Kidman or Chavo to do this to him. Only at 36 there, but we're building some stuff with some stories, so I expect some small little ratings like this. Trying to do a little feud between Chavo and Kidman getting started here. Backstage, Chris Kanyon cuts a promo about how everything now is about him. He is the best wrestler on this roster. He was tired of being overlooked in WCW previously. He is now going to be the guy in WCW, and he is starting that off by going up to the US Championship, and tonight he goes through Tommy Dreamer to advance to the next round. 47 there. And in about that decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling, Chris Kanyon defeats Tommy Dreamer 8-12 with a flatliner. Tommy Dreamer does advance, Chris Kanyon does advance in the U.S. Championship Tournament. Tommy Dreamer a 47, Chris Kanyon had a 52 rating overall. I'm okay with both of these. Dreamer's obviously involved in the RVD, Shane Douglas, and Bam Bam storyline, and Chris Kanyon is going to be a guy that we do a lot of work with here. So good stuff here. Good momentum boost. Backstage, we got Kevin Nash cuts a backstage promo talking about how, now that he's found out that he will get the opportunity at Scott Steiner, nothing will stop him from becoming the new WCW Heavyweight Champion. It's time for Big Sexy to get that big gold belt back. And that's too sweet. So 68 there from Kev. Good stuff. Always a good promo. No problems there. Steiner, however, shows up as he says too sweet, and the brawl begins. Nash and Steiner are trying to hit each other as much as possible. Security's in there breaking it up. As security's breaking it up, they finally got them separated. Bischoff steps up and says, "Look, I ain't having this tonight. So tonight, Kevin Nash, you're facing off against Dustin Rhodes. Mark Jindrak, you're going to face against Scott Steiner. But you guys will not be facing off until the pay-per-view. Got it?" And walks away. Nash and Steiner are forced away back into the locker rooms, a 67 rating. Steiner looked good, storyline advances, building momentum for this world title match to make it actually matter. I don't have a lot of time to make it matter, but at the same time, I know Nash and Steiner are both guys who have been WCW for so long, and I know it's been done so many times that I wanted to make sure that at least it's a heated story. The match may not be great, but the story will be at least decent. So 67 there. In a poor match, Christopher Daniels defeats Psychosis in 7:55 with last rites. A big upset here in the Cruiserweight division. Psychosis a 42, Daniels a 44, rating of 44. Daniels advances to the next round of the Cruiserweight Championship Tournament. Amazing. Psychosis is out of there, and Daniels gets the win. Daniels, again, big piece of the Cruiserweight division. Lots of stuff going on for him. And Psychosis is going to be intricate as well. Now that Psychosis is no longer in the tournament, we can do something different with him, which I already have set up. 44 there. Ric Flair is backstage getting the robe ready to go, showing that he's about to get back in the ring, and he is beyond well, you don't really hear him speak, but you can see like the emotion in his face that he's just ready to get back in the ring, and that's a 56 rating out of Ric. And in a return match for Ric Flair, and about that decent reaction from the crowd, but not great wrestling, Ric Flair defeats Mike Sanders in a squash in 6 minutes with a roll-up, so that's not exactly how that worked, but the dirtiest player in the game, that's fine. Ric Flair with a 60, Sanders a 38. This is strictly just to get Ric Flair a W on his return to the ring. And Flair will have a lot more stuff going on, but this is a good start for him. 58, solid. Backstage, we have Shane Douglas and Bam Bam Bigelow. They cut a promo about the fact that, now that Dreamer's out of the tournament, our main goal is to make sure RVD is out of the tournament as well. And I get to do that single-handedly tonight as I defeat Rob Van Dam and move on to the U.S. Championship Final Four. And Bam Bam Bigelow is going to make sure of it. If not, there will be hell to pay for Rob Van Dam and Tommy Dreamer. So 53 rating there. And in about that good heat and decent wrestling, Rob Van Dam does defeat Shane Douglas in 13:29 by pinfall with a 5-star frog splash. So RVD advances despite what Shane Douglas tried to say to get this over with. Bam Bam and Dreamer are at ringside. A lot of gaga at ringside between those two, but the match doesn't have any determination on that. Shane Douglas a 50, RVD a 67. Storyline still gains heat, so RVD advances. So now we have fuel to the fire. Not only is Shane Douglas hate RVD and Dreamer, but now Dreamer eliminated Bam Bam, and RVD now just eliminated Shane Douglas. So what is this going to mean for this? And how is Shane and Bam Bam's ego going to possibly recover from that? 63 rating there. And in about that fantastic heat and decent wrestling, Scott Steiner defeats Mark Jindrak in 8:14 by submission with a Steiner recliner. Jindrak a 51, Steiner a 74, rating a 69. That's what I expect out of my champion. This is just more or less a tune-up match for Steiner before the pay-per-view, but it also keeps him and Nash away from each other up until the pay-per-view. Puts Jindrak in a good spot, puts Steiner in a good spot. Overall, everybody benefits out of this moment. Kevin Nash is watching from the back as Scott Steiner chokes out Mark Jindrak. Nash is disgusted, kicks something over, and walks out of the locker room. So 66 rating. Okay, so this is where things are going to get interesting. So, this match is a qualifying match for the Triple Threat Tag Team title match at the pay-per-view. And it's the Filthy Animals defeating 3 count in 7:47 when Mysterio pins Evan Courageous with a top rope Hurricane Rana. Mysterio an 82, Conan a 33, Courageous a 48, Moore a 46. Conan showed unprofessionalism, wasn't trying at all, phoned in the performance, a 62 rating regardless. Conan has put in his notice, so he will be leaving the company. So we will be finding Rey Mysterio a replacement partner, but stay tuned for that. Backstage, Ric Flair is back in his locker room. Bischoff walks in and is impressed. You haven't lost a step, old man. And Flair smiles. Bischoff smiles. He goes, well, I hope you can do it again next week as you face another young gun in Sean Stasiak. As he smiles and walks out of the room, Flair with kind of that like half smile, half not really smile look on his face. But I think he's just happy to be back in the ring. I don't think he cares who it's against. 73 rating out of these guys. So the seeds are starting to get planted here between these two. There is a little something going on there. It's just whether or not it's going to happen. And in another qualifying match for that tag team ladder match, Totally Buff defeats Kings of Old School in 7:41 when Buff Bagwell pins Rick Steiner with a Buff Blockbuster. Luger a 49, Buff a 53, Rick a 53, Animal a 43. Good stuff here out of the tag division. 52 rating, I will take that every time. So right now, Totally Buff is now also in that tag team ladder match. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good stuff, I think. 52 rating there. We get a graphic showing that next week, the Natural Born Thrillers, Sean O'Hare and Chuck Palumbo, will face off a to-be-announced team next week, and the winner of that will join the other 2 teams in the 3-team ladder match. 43 rating there. I was kind of hoping for a little better, but that's okay. And in the main event tonight, and about that great heat and decent wrestling, Kevin Nash defeats Dustin Rhodes in 9:59 with a jackknife powerbomb. Kevin Nash is 65, 57 for Dustin, 65 overall. Again, gets Kevin Nash more momentum, puts Dustin Rhodes in the main event spot. I have so much written for Dustin Rhodes for this year, so stay tuned for that. I think we're all going to enjoy that. 65 rating, that's solid. And post-match, Steiner attacks Kevin Nash and puts him in the Steiner recliner until the referees come in there and break it up. Steiner stands tall to end the show. 73 rating. Both guys are killing it right now. I'm very happy with this. 73 rating. Let's see what we get for a final rating for the show. All right, 66. We gained popularity in 34 regions. Would have gained popularity in 1 Canadian region, but growth was restricted. That's okay. Popularity in 6 British countries again was restricted. Perfect. Awesome. Very excited with this. Overall, this show has been great. Building momentum big time for this. We're 1 week away from the pay-per-view, so we got one more Nitro, and then that pay-per-view. So please stay tuned for that. It's going to be amazing. I really hope you all are enjoying this. But until next time, please make sure you like. Please make sure you comment on the forum, on the YouTube, everything. I want to make sure this is something you guys are actually enjoying, so I really need to know that. At the end of the day, though, I'm going to do this regardless, so